A Florida man was arrested inside a Chuck E. Cheese while dressed as Chuck E. Cheese. That is not a sentence I expected to say today, but here we are. Hi, I'm Chris, and welcome to Eagle Eye on Crime, where we look at real criminal cases and talk about what they can teach us about crime, justice, and the system that responds to both. This is our second episode in our new series where we dissect a criminal case from Florida in the month it occurred. Last month, we looked at a June case with a much heavier legal issue. This month for July, we're going in a very different direction. This case is not a murder. It's not a major courtroom drama. It is not one of those cases where we spend the whole episode buried in statutes and legal definitions. This one involves a stolen credit card, alleged fraudulent charges, a family entertainment restaurant, and one of the most awkward arrests I have seen in a while. So let's get into what actually happened. This case comes out of Tallahassee, Florida in July of 2025. And according to reports, a woman visited Chuck E. Cheese and later realized her credit card had been used without her permission. Police began looking into the unauthorized charges, and the investigation eventually led them back to an employee at that same Chuck E. Cheese location. That employee was identified as Jermel Jones, and when police arrived at the restaurant, Jones was working, not just working behind the counter, not cleaning tables, not running food. He was dressed as Chuck E. Cheese.
Just ask management who's in the mouse. Do we know his name? We don't know his name. We're gonna detain the mouse, do you?
Yes, we are.
Do it. I want you to. Go around and ask. Go around.
You want me to come in front of these kids?
Yeah, grab him. Get him. Grab him, quick. Don't resist. Do not resist. Don't let your hands go. Let your hands go. I got it. I got wide open.
Now, this is the part of the case that made the internet do what the internet does. People saw that footage and immediately focused on the costume. And I get it, but let's not miss the actual case underneath that costume. Jones was arrested for credit card theft and fraudulent use of a credit card. When someone uses another person's card, they're taking control of that person's money, their account, and sometimes their sense of safety. The victim has to deal with the bank. They have to dispute charges. They have to worry about what else may have been accessed. They have to spend time cleaning up a problem they didn't create. Now let's talk about why this case actually matters. Well, other than being a case where a mouse is arrested, I want us to dive into the why. How does something like this happen in the first place? This is where routine activities theory comes in. I know what you're probably thinking. Oh, please don't turn this into a boring lecture on a criminological theory. Don't quit watching, I promise. I'm going to keep this painless. Routine activities theory says Crime is more likely when three things come together at the same time. First, you need a person willing to commit the crime. Second, you need a target that's available. And third, you need a situation where no one is paying close enough attention to stop it. That's it. That's the theory. In this case, the suitable target was that card left. The motivated offender was the person willing to use it. And the lack of capable guardianship was the setting. Chuck E. Cheese is not exactly a quiet, controlled environment. It's loud, it's busy, kids are running around, parents are distracted, employees are juggling food, games, parties, prizes, and customers. People are setting things down, picking things up, they're watching their kids, they're trying to survive the birthday party without losing their mind. So, that kind of place creates opportunity for criminals. And that's the real lesson. A lot of everyday crime doesn't happen because someone planned the perfect criminal operation. Most of the time, it happens because the opportunity is sitting right there. A credit card gets left behind, a wallet's unattended, a person's distracted. Someone notices that and they then make the choice to commit the crime. That doesn't excuse the crime, but it explains the conditions that made it easier. According to the case deposition, Jones pled to fraudulent use of a credit card and theft of a credit card. He received time served and probation. I don't think the sentence here is the most interesting part of the case. The bigger lesson is what happened after the arrest footage started spreading. This is where the case shifts from a fraud case to a public perception case.
He's a criminal. What would you like to know?
I would like y'all to walking out the door with some coupons and all these shirts and somebody like Chuck E. Would y'all put Mickey Mouse in handcuffs?
Have a good night.
Have a good night. I will.
Police did not just arrest the suspect, they arrested a suspect dressed as a beloved children's mascot inside a family restaurant in front of children and parents while cameras were rolling. Once that video hit news outlets, a lot of people were not talking about the crime committed. They were only talking about that arrest. Should the officers have waited? Should they have taken him to a back room? Should they have let him change out of his costume first? Should they have avoided doing all of this in front of children? These are all fair questions. At the same time, police said the situation changed when Jones resisted and that they had to detain him where they were for safety reasons.
Come with me, Chucky. Come on. Come with Chucky. Chucky, stop resisting. Stop resisting. You're being detained. Stop resisting. Let it go. Let it go. Do not cause a scene here, sir. I got
This is where I think we have to hold two ideas at the same time. One, officers have a job to do. They have probable cause to make an arrest, and the person resists or does not comply. They may not have the luxury of staging the perfect public relations version of that arrest. They have to control the situation. They have to think about safety. They have to think about whether the person may walk away, reach for something, or create a bigger problem. But two, the public is not always watching the case through that criminal justice lens. The public is often watching a giant mouse get handcuffed in front of kids. That image is going to hit people emotionally. In today's world, the case is not the only story. The video becomes the story. The setting becomes the story. The reaction becomes the story. The 30-second clip becomes what people think they know. That does not mean the officers were wrong. It does mean that perception matters. And in public safety, perception can shape trust just as much as the actual facts of the case. That is why agencies have to think not only about what they are legally allowed to do, but also how the public will understand what they see. Could this arrest have looked different? Maybe. Could the officers have avoided the children seeing it? Maybe. Could the suspect's actions have limited their options? Also, maybe. Some people saw the video and thought, that was unnecessary. Some other people saw it and thought, if he resisted, police had to act. And this is where July's case connects back to June's case we covered in the first episode of this series. In that June case, one of the biggest public questions was why the arrest took so long. People wanted to know why someone was not arrested immediately, especially when emotions were high and the community wanted answers. That was a public perception issue too. In that case, the criticism was, why did the system move so slowly? But in July's case, the criticism was, why did the police handle this arrest in this way? Different cases, different facts, but the same larger lesson for anyone interested in criminal justice. The public is not only watching what the system does, they are watching how the system does it. And sometimes they are watching with only part of the story. From a criminal justice standpoint, every arrest has two parts. There's what legally happened, and there's what the public saw. These two things are not always the same. In one case, the public may see delay and assume inaction. In another case, the public may see that body cam footage and assume poor judgment. But criminal justice decisions are always happening behind the scenes. They're based on evidence, policy, safety, procedure, and legal standards that may not be obvious in a short video clip or a social media post. That doesn't mean public concern should be ignored. Public trust matters. Perception matters. The way an incident looks can affect how people feel about the entire system. So the Chuck E. Cheese theft caper brought us one of the strangest arrest visuals we're probably going to see for a while. But underneath that weirdness, there are two real criminal justice lessons. First, the routine activities theory explains how everyday places can create opportunity for crime. And second, in modern policing, perception matters. That's it for July's case. If you know of a Florida case that happened in August that you think I should cover, drop it in the comments. It can be serious, strange, overlooked, or just one of those cases that make you say, there has to be a criminal justice lesson in there somewhere. I'm Chris, and this is Eagle Eye on Crime. I'll see you in the next case.